If you've always wanted to support the show with your hard-earned cash, now's the time to pause, go to Patreon, and search out FNRad. Join one of our tiers. You'll get ad-free episodes every week, one day early, plus more cool stuff. The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Skyview Campers, Never Summer's innovative take on the tiny home. Designed and built in beautiful Colorado. Check out skyviewcampers.com. Wired Snowboards builds quality snowboards by hand 10 minutes away from my house. Visit wiredsnowboards.com and order one today. Fixed bindings are easy to adjust, long-lasting, high-performance bindings built to have less impact on the environment. Check out fixedbindingco.com. NewGreens, 100% organic, vibrant green juice. Buy yourself some at newgreens.com and use code FNRad at checkout for 20% off. And for a chance to try NewGreens for free, listen to the end of the show. Rip Curl Outerwear, strength, durability, and performance. Designed to search further in the snow, head to ripcurl.com and check out the Anti-Series jacket. I can't wait to rock this thing. The Boardroom Snowboard Shop, best selection, best prices, Vancouver's premier snowboard shop. Go to boardroomshop.com and use code FNRAD10 to save 10% off your next purchase. Support also comes from Mount Seymour, Grouse Mountain, Cypress Mountain, the Pro Standard GoPro accessories, and our friends at 1910. You can use code FNRAD at checkout for 20% off at 1910.com. The Haven's a center for transformational learning located on beautiful Gabriola Island. Plan a visit at haven.ca and use code FNRAD at checkout to save 10% off their Come Alive program. Rube Goldberg is a professional snowboarder from Whistler in the 90s and 2000s. The year I got into the Baker Banked Slalom, he had qualified first in the Pro Men's Masters category with one of the fastest times at Baker that year. Rube is a snowboarder's snowboarder, talented and humble, and right now he's taking a bit of a break due to a broken wrist that was definitely hurting him throughout this interview. Photographer. Oh no, your neck.
Man, I'm in bad shape. Just from this stupid thing.
All right, let's start with this stupid thing. Right. So you were working. This isn't a snowboard-related injury.
No.
How long has it been since you broke a bone on a snowboard?
So I really thought I had never broken a bone. But my friend reminded me I did do 2 wrists once, like just the radius.
Okay. What's that? The inside
the radius
one?
Is that button, I think, ulna, right there. Yeah.
The
ulna runs up, connects with the radius, pretty sure, right there. Yeah, right That's here. What I broke, both of those. I don't remember like this kind of pain, I guess.
We're old. I mean, you're young, but I'm pretty fucking
47.
Old. It's old. You're old.
Yeah.
Broken bones suck now, huh?
I mean, I feel okay. It could be worse.
But that was up in your neck. You were just like... Ugh.
Yeah, but who knows what that... But something probably from not like working this side for a week. It's only been a week.
Oh, dude, that's nasty.
But
did they offer you the painkiller stuff? Or?
No, I turned them down.
Yeah, they offered.
I wasn't really like in any pain. Only when I moved, which is fucking you move, but like... I wasn't dying. I looked next door. There was a girl, and her wrist was like totally displaced. Like, and I was.
That's gross.
I didn't think it was going to be broken. I thought the doctor was going to come back and say, "You're fine. You're a little bitch." Because I was starting to feel good. I'm like, yes. And then he came out, and I remember like being like, "Tell me the good news." And he said, "This is fractured, and 4 to 6 weeks."
Yeah,
it's been a week.
And
can't work.
And the cast that you have on it's got boas on it?
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Like really, I could take it off. Just like boa style.
And you can go in the shower with it. I guess that's the
No, you take it off, you go in the shower.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can go with your broken bone. Yeah. Don't take it off,
But really, yeah, it's really cool. I mean,
that's the best ad for
because I had half cast.
There. Yeah.
For a second there. I didn't know. I don't know, it's weird, but now you start to lose mobility. Like,
oh, that's the worst.
So that's the main thing I'm working on, I guess. Is
just keeping mobility while you're healing.
Moving,
yeah.
Because I've always been the worst. I've had 2 knee surgeries. I do not remember doing anything anybody told me. Like I don't remember rehabbing my knee surgery, both. And then my left one was the second one, and it's the one that bothers me the most.
I remember because I broke my femur.
Oh wow!
And I actually like got to the point where I was like kind of boycotting physical therapy. Like I was like, they're pushing me too hard. This is stupid.
And how'd it go?
I had a limp 18 months
later. Yeah, like imagine if you're doing a serious bone like that. Like I mean, when you're younger, you're invincible, and then at my age now, I still feel invincible, but I know I'm like, okay, I need to do these, or I can't do my job properly, I guess.
Well, that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
It's actually like great. Everybody's kind of like, oh no. Because I did a post on Instagram and just whatever, was joking around, and you get the comments back, and it was like, oh no, that sucks. Oh shit, because it's supposed to snow a bunch, and like it was like I feel good not being able to snowboard, not being able to do anything. Finally, you know, like
yeah.
Guess what? I can't do anything. I can do small chores, but like I can't. It's really time for me to just chill out, which rarely happens. So
I think I'd have a panic attack.
What's that? Chilling out.
Chilling out. Because then I would just scroll on my phone and feel like a shithead.
For sure, that time is up. But really, like waking up and trying to, like, you're like relearning things with my left hand, like how to put your socks on,
cool.
Like, it's not crazy or anything, but
no,
it's
that's
like,
cool.
There is a way to do it right, you know, and like you're trying to figure out to make it easier, like taking your fucking sweater off without screaming, or it's like cutting tomatoes. Like it's cool, man. I'm having a good time. I'm pretty much having a great time, not having to do anything.
Yeah, you know, Craig Kelly was working on that back. Like that was one of his things, was that he tried to do everything. He realized that the asymmetry of standing sideways was conditioning his body a certain way. So he tried switching everything around, tried doing everything backwards it's
hard to follow through with that, I'm sure. Like,
oh yeah.
Like keep going, keep doing. Like the other day I was riding with my girlfriend, and I was thinking that I thought she was going to be a horrible skier. Mm-hmm. So I was going to ride switch.
Yeah.
And just thinking of the commitment of staying in that stance, like I was going to change the stance. Anyways, freaked me out a bit. So I didn't. And she's a good skier, so it worked out. But anyway.
So you were skiing with your busted, you were snowboarding with your busted?
No, this was before.
Right before.
No, I haven't gone yet. I thought I could go tomorrow, maybe, but I think it's too soon.
The consequences are shitty, hey? Like it's just.
I mean,
when you're thinking about it, the injury, you're like more likely to fucking rack it on something.
It's not worth it. I guess it's not worth it. You know, I'll be back. I had a good year. I have a bunch of days, and I had a good year, man. Fuck, it was really good the day before. Like I went out with E-Man, and we fucking had a good time, and then it was over.
How long have you been in Whistler for? You've been there for quite some time now.
1995.
Damn, that's early. Yeah, I think
it's close.
I think that's a year after JF, or the same year.
Yeah, no, I think they were there too. My best friend, two of my best friends, Mike and Dave, moved out the year I graduated. They were a year ahead of me, so I graduated in 94. They went out and they met JF and everybody. So they were all homies. I came out the following year. Yeah, maybe JF was there before, but
could have been. Actually, you know what? You're right. It was the first year I was at Boardroom, 93, 94. Yeah. JF pulled up in some little car, then went and lived in Whistler in this car, and got sponsored by Planet X. I remember him saying, like,
Planet X.
It was this guy Jeff. It was a cool little outerwear company around the corner from the Boardroom on Burrard and 4th. It was on Pine, actually, but I remember he was talking about this contract where if he gets a cover, he gets $10,000. And then he got a cover.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he get paid?
Yes, he did. He got paid.
Wow.
And Jeff was like, oh shit. Like, I hope this, makes those sales to cover this, but the contract was good.
That's awesome.
That was Rev Days, JF.
Yeah.
Like, what a team that was. Holy shit.
JP Walker?
Jeremy Jones was also on
Was he?
there.
Bjorn?
Bjorn was on there.
Yeah. See, those were the days. That was like Whistler early days.
Yes.
For me, didn't know anybody, but watched like the Kokanee Big Air. My buddy Demo was in there, and he was killing it. And
I was in that.
No shit.
Was it the year that Risto Scott won it?
I think Risto did win it.
Yeah,
right.
I was there.
Jordan was like close by or something, but yeah, I think Risto did win that year.
And he was spinning like new. It was a new way of spinning. I thought he was just hucking, but he was actually.
No, they were good. That Kelowna crew was good.
Yeah, he knew how to put that down. I remember going up to Risto and saying, "You should talk to the LibTech distributors for a sponsor. You should be sponsored."
Well, so he wasn't. What was he riding?
I think he was riding a LibTech. I think he was riding like a board he bought. I believe that. My memory's not always 100% on, but
50 years ago.
I do remember saying to him, like, if you're not sponsored, you should be. And there was like that. There was still. There was still a ladies' tee and a men's tee, and I never went off the men's tee, and I was competing in the thing.
How'd you get in? Did you just have to pay for that? I can't remember. Why didn't I do that thing, man? What's up?
It was a sanctioned event, and it cost about $100 after all was said and done.
I don't think we were good enough yet.
You had to be a part of the FIS. It was a FIS actual event, so like you got FIS points from that shit. I remember getting a FIS letter in the mail that said I was like 117th on the FIS chart.
Yeah, I remember seeing those things.
And Palmer was he was number one. Yeah, it was crazy. But that was those Kokanee Big Airs. Like, think of how sloppy that build was too. Like, it was just like a couple lumps of snow. And
where was that? Like, I still don't know where it was.
I can't even think of it either. It was in a weird spot, that's for sure. I ended up getting sledded out. The only time I've ever been sledded out.
Because you hurt yourself.
It wasn't even a hurt. It was I got so dehydrated because we'd been drinking the whole night before, and then it was sunny, and I didn't drink any water, didn't have anything, totally dehydrated, and my ass muscle seized up. It's a big muscle, and it pulled my hip out of joint. And I was fucked. I couldn't move. Not from a bail, not from anything.
That's a weird one.
Just from being probably nervous, actually, if I'm honest. That was really nerve-wracking.
It's like a stress pull.
Yeah, because they put us, we were in the pro category. And if I can't even go off the big jump and I'm in the pro category, come on, I'm not a pro. Jim Barnum was in our little crew, and he hit the big jump. I remember he spun out.
Did you ever live in Whistler?
Never, no. I was told when I moved out here that Whistler was an hour away from Vancouver. So it was like, oh, we'll go up there all the time. I had a summer pass when I first moved out here, and we'd drive up that road. It's, before the highway was done, it was a solid 2 hours from the city, really. But, you could do it at night in about an hour and a half or something. But yeah, and then it's so much more comfortable for a guy like me at like Grouse or Seymour or Cypress. It's small. It's not big.
Yeah.
Whistler's fucking gnarly, dude. When you first show up there and everyone's riding super fast, it feels like consequence, Just
slow down. Don't fall next.
or Kevin Young or Vitelli. Like, that's who we were riding with up there. And they had hit runs where it was like the hits were just fucking massive.
Oh, the hit run's so good right now. It's like the best year ever.
Yeah.
The snow's been so good. The hit run is so good. It's all over now.
That's what snowboarding's all about, right? Like,
I think it's a good place, like, to really like learn how to use your edges and like pump speed and ollie instead of like running cheese wedges, all the time, or whatever, park jumps, or people are still just like scrubbing or whatever. You can't like go Mach 10 off certain jumps on a hit run. You need to slow down. You need to ollie. I don't know. But
it definitely grows amazing snowboarders.
Yeah. I would take these. There was a Japanese crew that would come every year to do this camp, DMK snowboard camp. I don't know if it's still going.
Who puts that on?
This guy Fusaki Ida. I met him at Superpipe Camp in like 1998, and he like took me under his wing and like made me kind of cool in Japan, pretty much.
So cool.
So he would bring this crew of old men and like an older crowd, not all men, but some women, but like an older crowd. And we'd go riding, and they want to go to the park, or it just, everybody's kind of drawn to the park, but we would go do hit runs, and they'd have a fucking blast, man. Hit runs are the best.
I think I rode with Devin one time at Whistler, and we were still riding the same hit run as when it was Kevin Young era.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's only like a red line, there's an XL, there's a crystal. There's pretty much only 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
there's a peak lap too. Dude, I think they should do, did you watch the Natural Selection?
I did. Yeah.
Me too. I think they should do a hit run.
Oh, that would be so
good. A Natural
good.
Selection hit run.
Well, because every fucking
so
hill
much
has
action,
the hit run.
And
like Brighton, Seymour.
Exactly.
Whistler, you could
not that it was like bad or anything, but like
no, it's not bad.
Like the cameras, whatever fell out there or whatever happened there.
Oh, that was wild. That was frustrating for me watching it.
I know. I just had to keep fucking fast forward. I didn't even know what was happening, but imagine having a hit run. Like the action would be nonstop.
So I've proposed just on mic, like it would also be cool to do. First of all, I don't want to insult anybody and get canceled. Like if the women's event was at a venue that was just like a little more like conducive to like trying harder tricks. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be fucking Travis Rice super steep for everyone. But then it wouldn't just be for women. You could also add a legends category where you get fucking Terrier versus Todd, and you get fucking Nico versus, well, Nico could still go pro, and so could Terrier, and probably Todd. Sorry, Todd, but it's pretty more. If there was a mini golf, Natural Selection mini, that would be.
That's why it's got to be a hit run, because it's so.
A hit run would be so sick. Like think of the things you see go down on a hit run.
Longo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what you do is you do a Arthur Longo side hit run selection or something.
All the resorts.
Every resort. And when he shows up, the local pros come out of the woodwork, ride with him for a day, and then they run a contest on that. They build the hits proper. Ben Bullock is like the overseer of building the side hits. That would be sick as fuck.
Probably.
Because there's nowhere in the world.
Very appealing, I bet, too, because everybody's hitting those runs.
There's nowhere in the world I've ever been that if you have a local guide that they don't take you to the hit run, right? Like no matter where you are. Oh, this is the hit run. That would be so good. We'll have to call it like Ruth Chris Steakhouse. It's Rube, and then the Rube Arthur Longo side hit run.
Yeah, I'll be, what's the other good hit run resort? Have you been to Sun Peaks hit run?
I don't, not the hit run. We went to the park because the park was fucking
hit run's
fire.
Amazing, Sun Peaks.
Yeah. Sun Peaks is like a mini Whistler. I was really blown away by it. When you go to Sun Peaks and you're like, oh, fuck, there's big resorts where there's not crazy lineups. Like, why do we go anywhere else? Why wouldn't we just be here the whole time? Like I should move.
There's no real good high alpine there, but
right.
But
so we do an Alaska
definitely
trip.
Side hit action everywhere, and it's big. Like the runs, they're long.
The runs are long.
Yeah.
So so you moved out here from Montreal, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, you were telling me your dad was like an OG like restaurateur.
My dad was old school. I mean. 1920 he was born, 1919 maybe. In Montreal. His parents came over from Romania.
Yeah.
Russian Jews came over on a boat. That's what he said. We did an interview with my dad before he passed, and he's like, on a boat. They came over on a boat. Anyways. It's my mom.
Take it. Yeah, put it on. I can hear it in the...
I'm sitting on. You're on camera right now, so I can't talk. But
okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that I tried a half a joint. I just took a few pops off of it, and it didn't do much for me, so that's why I came upstairs.
All right, well, go to bed then, I guess. What are you going to do?
Wait a minute, wait. So what time are you coming home tomorrow?
Probably like 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. And don't forget, on Monday, you have to take me into Whistler.
Yeah, take it easy.
What time is my appointment?
4 o'clock, 4:30.
Why did you make it so
All right, Ma, I gotta go. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
See you later.
That was awesome.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that was so good. What a synchronicity.
See what I mean?
You're talking about your dad, your mom calls. That was incredible. Does she smoke weed? Is this a new thing that
she's been having panic attacks.
Well, weed's going to fucking make them worse. She's going to be calling back in a minute. She's going to be like, did I just talk to you? Did I say that out loud? Yeah, no.
She's definitely been having the attacks, and the weed like straightened her out.
Okay, yeah. It's like Ritalin or whatever.
Just like calmed her down.
A regular person would get paranoid on weed, but a paranoid
she was blasting
person
pills or something. And
that's no good.
I'm like, you remember the weed hits quick. Like,
right
smoke
away.
a joint. Yeah. Every time you do it, it's amazing. You always say it. I don't know why you keep fighting it.
Yeah.
Smoke the weed.
Yeah. It's legal. It's 100% legal. It's good. So how long has she been out in Whistler?
She's been out since, here's a funny one. My dad passed 2016. Mm-hmm. My mom took care of my dad, 96, not easy, freaking out, started. That's where panic attacks started. Because she was like, no one would listen to her say like, I can't do this anymore. I need help. And everybody, all the kids are just like, fuck, whatever.
It's your husband. You picked him.
So she started to have these weird attacks and we couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, man.
Couldn't figure out what was going on. Test after test after test after test. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how I'm going so deep into this, but like I made her smoke some weed.
That's rad.
And then so she was having these attacks every 3 days. Mm-hmm. She would have an attack. The next day, like kind of recover. And then the third day she'd be okay. And then boom, it would happen again. It's like clockwork. And then we got stoned one night, sat down for dinner, and she looked at her whatever, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's Monday. It's time for my attack." I was like, "What? It's Monday. Like now you're that doesn't make any sense. Like now you're giving it a day. So clearly, like there's nothing wrong. It's all upstairs.
This is happening inside. Yeah.
So we figured out that it was to do with her living situation and taking care of my dad, whatever. He went to a home, he passed, and she said the day, I remember her saying this, please just give me 5 more years. Because she's been taking care of him, she wants some time to herself. Let me have 5 years. She's not old at all, but it's, I don't even know, that's, she's probably like 75 then. And 5 years to the day, my mom has a stroke.
Oh my God.
To the fucking day.
Oh fuck.
She put it out there. She got her 5 years, and 5 years to the day in 2016 or 2021, I guess now. Yeah. 2016, 2021. Yeah. She has a stroke and she is mangled.
Oh no.
She was paralyzed left side for 2 weeks or so, maybe a month by the time I got to pull her out of the hospital. And then we put her at home and she was just kind of, she can't smoke butts anymore. She's miserable. There's a dark cloud, she says, following her wherever she goes.
That's a really tough one, man.
And like, she's got nothing anymore. She's just like staring at her fucking iPad. And then we FaceTime all the time. Yeah. And you just see that. And I'm like, I just finished building my house in Pemberton. I have the space. And I was like, fuck it. I'm coming to get you. If you hate, she didn't want to come. If you hate it, we'll fly you back, but like, come check it out.
Yeah.
I live right in town. I'm 2 blocks from the store. Like, so she moved out and she's not leaving, man.
She loves it.
She loved it.
Of course she does. It's beautiful. You live right in town.
I live right down the street from the snowmobile shop.
Yeah. Not in Pemberton. In Pemberton.
Yeah, there's a Bush's shop there, Al Bush. And then I'm right next to Napa. It's like 2 blocks from the grocery store.
Oh, sick.
It's perfect.
Pemberton hasn't changed that much in the last 20 years.
There's a lot more people.
More people for sure. That downtown thing was always like that.
Man. It's pretty.
Yeah.
We need to find, like, the Legion I found is finally, after maybe 2 years that I've been living there, like, the Legion's pretty wicked, but.
Yeah. I always go to Mile 1. That place is epic.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a place to go hang out and drink.
No, exactly. There's nowhere to hang out.
Yeah, it's
there's
like
nowhere to go
for
a good. I mean, fuck, what am I talking about? There's 2 spots, but music's, not my stuff.
I love that your mom just called. That is so fucking sweet.
This is like every day, 3 times a day. We talk, especially when I'm in the city a couple days. But
yeah, my mom over the last year, she's been in a care facility for a year now.
Oh yeah,
nice. But like my dad was doing the thing your mom was doing for like 5 years without telling anyone. We didn't even know he was doing that.
Yeah.
Like my sister would go over and visit and be like, Mom, why aren't you getting up and walking around? She's like, oh, I just was right before you were here. And then my dad would be like, yeah, she was running all over the place or whatever. He was like covering for her, Turns out for 5 years, she wasn't getting out of her chair. My dad was like taking care of everything, dude. It was gnarly to find out. And then eventually she wiped out a bunch of times. And then we had to put her into it's not like we had to put her in a facility. She was in a hospital and they were like, she's not good to go home.
Yeah.
And so she hated that.
Oh man, it's tough.
And then I became daily talking to her. I would just call her on the way to work every day and just and she was chipper. She was good. She's like, I'm going to walk 90 steps today. I'm going to walk 100 steps today. And then I would talk to her and say, oh, that's great. Hey, how'd the steps go yesterday? She's like, hey, you know what? The nurse was kind of getting on my nerves, so I didn't fuck that guy, or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, well, there's always tomorrow. She's like, tomorrow I'm going to walk 200 steps, I'll be home by my birthday. And then her birthday would come and they'd be like, you can't walk to the car. Then you can't go home. So now she's in an equilibrium now where she goes home on weekends, which is not the norm for the hospital. Like she still has like some part of her old life that's happening. Mm-hmm. And she's bummed and good. When she's bummed, I'm like, that's good that you're bummed because you're in a shit situation. I've known you my whole life and the whole time you've been in a pretty good situation. And this is kind of the worst you've been in. And she's sort of making the best of it,
That's good. My dad, it took him down. It
took him down. No.
As soon as we put him in, he was like, what are you guys doing,
It's
man?
not him, it's the other people. Like, it's hard to look around and see people that are just fucking catatonic.
It's like in there, and then you see his brain start to slip. He's like, who are you? And you're like, holy fuck. And then, he didn't like it.
Yeah, he was
take him out, and he was like, fuck, man. I hate this. Me and my brother would sit there on the sidewalk, and he'd just be like, he was miserable. And then someone tipped him off that if he stopped eating, he could get out of here sooner.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking gnarly.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty, yeah. I mean, it's
so pretty much. I was in Vegas,
and
I got the call, and he had decided to stop eating.
Yeah, and like he called you and told you, like,
well,
hey,
no, the doctor did.
The doctor's like he's refusing food.
He's refusing food, and he's got 48 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So I flew home. The whole family flew in. Brothers, we have 6. There's 6 of us total, and kind of said our goodbyes. And then we took turns taking watch throughout the night, and he fucking died on my watch.
Whoa, man.
It was wicked.
That's heavy.
I remember watching, I had CNN on, because he always watched CNN, and I'm fucking like so bummed that maybe I should have had some Frank Sinatra on or something, but
yeah.
I remember I was chatting with my friend, and then all of a sudden he like shot up in his in his bed, like full zombie style, like pretty much that sounded exactly. And I had the lights out and I could see something coming out of his mouth, which I thought was blood. And then I turned the light on, it was like brown bile. It was kind of weird. And I was like, holy shit. And I was hitting the button.
Yeah.
I ran down the hallway, told the nurse what was up, came back and like grabbed him from like, lifted him up, I guess, or he was still sitting or whatever. I was holding him and, I was like, it's time to go, Dad. Like, or they're going to come, fuck, who knows what? Like, it's time to go. And I watched his eyes like turn gray and I heard his last, it sounded like I've heard this noise twice now. I heard it from my dog and from my dad. My dad was the first, but like the last breath of air, it was so bizarre. And then I stood at the end of the bed and I was like, holy fuck, like what the hell, man? It was so wicked. And then I sat outside. I was like, wow, man, what a trip. And then he was just laying and we all came back at like 3 a.m. or whatever it was. And the whole family just sitting there with my dad, just like in the bed. It was so fucked up. He came up in the morning like, what are we doing? He's still there. We had no plan. Like, it was pretty funny.
We are devoid of ceremony now in our communities, right? Like what would I do if I'm sitting there, my mom died, with no plan. None.
yeah. Because we're Jewish. Well, we didn't really follow the religion much. My dad was like the worst Jew, but the rest of the family was
somewhat.
Yeah. So you're not supposed to be cremated, and that was my dad's wishes. So
he asked to be cremated. So you got to do what he's asked for.
But it was like, that was a big little.
Wow, man. That's heavy shit. I didn't think we'd be talking about this.
It was so fucking cool, man. Death is,
thank you
that
for sharing
changed like everything. Like,
yes.
In my mind, like death is so wicked, man. It's so cool. Chris Nichols' dad just passed away. Mm-hmm. He pulled his own plug pretty much as well.
Wow.
He was in a lot of pain and having a rough go. And I was like, man, you get to like talk to your dad before he goes and you can say, it's so beautiful. Like that you have that opportunity. Like, and he's going out on his own, man. Like it's pretty sick.
That is sick. I agree.
But
yeah,
definitely opened my eyes a lot thinking about death and just try to die happy somehow.
Fuck yeah. On your own terms too. Like that's crazy.
I'm out of here. My dad was a fucking gangster. Like he did everything, whatever he wanted, he did it. Fuck you. I don't care. It's my way or the highway kind of style. And he finished that way.
Was he running like a prohibition era? Like
he was.
Speakeasy thing?
Yeah. From what I've heard,
right.
Like he was 16 years old. He owned his first little blind pig pub where he was selling booze. And then I could be wrong, but I listened to my mother and who knows what the fuck she's talking about. But there was a hotel, there was a restaurant, the Place for Steak. It was like the biggest supper club in Montreal at the time.
Oof.
And I guess he was pulling in booze from somewhere else and he got shut down.
Yeah.
And then he opened up a few more restaurants. One of them burned down, kind of sketchy sounding for sure. There was another one named after me, Rube's Restaurant. It's still there. My uncle owns it.
I've heard of
my cousin now.
I've heard of this restaurant.
It's there.
In Montreal.
Rube's is on the outside. It's like 30. You got Montreal, you got the airport, Dorval.
Yeah.
25 minutes west is my hometown, Hudson, Quebec.
Okay.
And there's it's like Saint Lazare, Montreal, but Rube's is up there still there, steakhouse. What is that? Anyways.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's super duper sick.
And then he had another one, Sam Shanty. It was Chinese, and that was like the end. Oh, no, there's one, the Vieille Maison, that burned down. Like supposedly there was some shit going on, and someone burned that place down. But you just Anyway.
If he's bootlegging liquor, he's got connections to somebody cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Some group of cool ass dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, he was gangster.
I mean, Montreal was fucking Hell's Angels for the 70s and shit. Like, It's a real deal.
Yeah, there's some gangster there somewhere for sure.
So your mom's 20 years younger than he was, 21 years younger. Were they married a long time? Second wife?
My dad was married, I think this was his third wife.
Third wife.
First one passed, second one, he had 3 daughters and a son, adopted son.
Mm-hmm.
And then he met my mom after that one somehow. I don't know what that story is. Well, I do. I don't really know it, but I've heard so many different versions of who knows what's the real deal. But and my mom has another son from a previous marriage.
So aren't those stories though? Like, so I just talking with my mom every day. One of the things I learned about her was that they had help when I was a kid, when they were kids. Like they lived in the beaches in Toronto, and they had a maid suite. They had a house out back for the maid. Like they had like a cook. They had like a laundry lady. They had like someone who took care of the kids. I was like, how the fuck did I not know this? That you had, like, that's not what I picture when you were growing up. I thought it was you were raised by your grandparents. That's what you always said. But the grandparents were kind of rich, I guess, and they had help. That's so fucked up to me. And then it turns out that my grandfather is the son of the maid. So
what? Your grandfather is the son of the maid?
Yeah, hold on. Let me make sure that I got this right. Not the maid. So it has to be, my grandmother. Yeah. My grandmother was hooked up with the son of the maid. So the maid lives there, takes care of the kids. And then her son is married to one of the kids she's taking care of. That's not normal, I don't think. Or I guess it is, or I don't know. It's something that was so wild to find out that I was like, I called my cousins. I was like, did you guys know this? And they were like, well, technically, yeah, I guess. I'm like, don't you guys think that's kind of fucking weird? Because what makes it weird is that my grandmother was in a mental institution in her 20s. So like the owners of, the owners of the house have a maid. They have a daughter who's maybe not quite right. And then the son of the maid has kids with the,
good style.
Yeah. That's old colonizer.
I think my mom may have been the maid. I don't know why. I've heard this story, but like,
are you serious? Is this
I don't know.
Are you being serious? You're not fucking with me?
Her code name was Charlie. And she would call and they would say, Charlie's on the phone, and it's my mother.
Are you being serious right now?
Serious.
You're not lying.
No. But
weird is
where
this?
did I hear the story?
Right.
I've heard it. Is it bullshit? Fuck. I haven't asked, or my memory is just shot.
Well, the other thing is that the people that are telling these stories now, like my mom's in her 70s. So, if I talk to her sister, who's a little bit older, also in her 70s, the story's different, but the same. Like, oh, no, they fell in love and they're this or that or the other thing. It wasn't a maid as much as it was like a lady who lived in the house in the yard.
See, dude, how do I not know this? Like, how do I not know? Like, I live with my mom. I hear so many stories, but maybe I'm just like, there's so many stories. Man.
It's weird to find out though, too, right? Like it was a game changer for me to find that out, because I was like, fuck, I didn't realize my mom was like kind of one of those kids that had like, like helpers around all the time. Like that just doesn't compute. All of a sudden my mom is a different person to me. You know what I mean? Like her life was different than I thought it was. Completely different. But then what it makes me realize is that I don't know my kids. I've lived with my kids for 24 years, their whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them. Like I really don't. Like I don't know. I know what they put out there. Yeah. So I know them fairly well, but I don't know that much about what's going on inside. I have no access to the inside experiences, what they're thinking, how they're doing. And then I realized somehow I don't even have that about myself. Like I don't know what I was thinking 20 years ago. Like I have no idea who I was back then. Right? Like think about when you moved to Whistler.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Right? You think of who you were when you moved to Whistler, the things you were thinking, the way you were thinking. Is that you now? There's a through
I
line.
wonder, like my mom, living with my mom right now, like she's learning, she's getting to know me, like, and we know each other now, like, way crazier than before. Now she sees like all the shit because we're roommates pretty much. And like, yeah, thinking back, trying to look back in time and knowing how maybe not crazy, but like I'm figuring shit out. It's pretty amazing. What was going on back then? Like what was in my brain? It's interesting to, I don't even know how to say it, but like who was I back then? What the fuck was that? And like knowing what you know now and using the knowledge you have now, you have now, and trying to put it in your brain back then. Did you know the same shit?
Yeah. Like I have a hard time now thinking back. Like I don't know when it was when we got these phones. Right? Like remember being resistant to them? Like I don't know about you, but I was like, I'm not getting a fucking phone just because everyone has a phone. I remember someone showing me, it's called an app. And you can get an app, and an app does things like this one. Like, look, if I press this button, it tells us what song is playing right now. And I was like, that's kind of neat. But how much is it a month? $100 a month?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Dude, I fought the phone forever.
I fought the phone for a very long time.
And then I got one of these N-Gauge, they were called. N-Gauge, and you could play video games on it.
Oh, cool.
Someone ended up giving it to me. Anyways, yeah, I definitely fought the phone.
So I had like a candy bar and a flip phone and all that. But when I think back to like what it was before, I can't even really remember before phones now because they're so ubiquitous. They're so much a part of I'm driving somewhere, I'm fucking with my phone. I'm in a line, I'm watching something, I'm listening to a podcast while I'm fucking going. I listened to a podcast today in the shower. I was like, I'm not going to take my headphones out in the fucking shower today. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's where it's gotten to for me. And if I think back, like if I had to guess off the top of the head, how long ago did phones become like everything in my life? 20 years. But then if you go to 2004, we didn't even have phones. It's been 5 years. I don't know how many years.
It was the first year.
How many years? I don't know. We're at iPhone 15.
2010 doesn't make any sense.
That's 14 years ago. That'd be iPhone 1 or something. That was when we were still fighting against this shit.
Oh, yeah. Instagram kind of started. Yeah. 2011, 12 or something. Should I go to the bathroom again?
Yeah, we're good.
I definitely have to.
Yeah, do it.
I'm fine.
Do it. This year I quit my job and I found myself listening to you talk about like, you know, waking up and being like, I can't go to work today. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a job anymore, so I can't go there. I went there once in the 7 months that I quit. It felt so weird to
Where
be
was
like
that?
going in Canada Post.
Oh yeah, I think
So going to the post office and everyone's in their uniforms and I'm in my regular clothes and I'm not technically allowed in there anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is fucking weird. For the first month, I just kept myself so busy with just busy work that I was like, this is worse than having a job. Because when I had a job, I could just, the job ended at some point. This is never ending.
Yeah.
But then at about a month in, I was like, yeah, I guess I can just do whatever I want.
So you're full blast podcast.
7 months of no job except podcast. And it's a seasonal podcast. And you're one of the last 5 episodes of the season. I've cashed all the checks.
You're pumping them out like one a week or what?
Yeah, I do one a week, 25
shit.
a season. So I've got 4 more after you, Dara Reed and Jeeves, hopefully.
Nice.
Austin Sweeten.
Nice.
It'd be sick to get Robin Van Gin in there too, because, I mean, they live together. Might as well do it. I'm going to Legends of Tahoe, so there's going to be like 100 dudes down there. And maybe I'll just keep pumping out episodes to keep it going. But then I've already cashed all the checks. Like now I'm out of money. Like that, it's a good job for half the year.
So what's next? You wanna come
I
pay?
bought this property in Belize.
Oh, no way.
And I'm going to subdivide it and sell it.
So you're going down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to live there. No, I'm just going
to go work.
Worst case scenario, we have a place that we just go on vacation. Best case scenario, I sell a bunch of them, and each time I sell it, I don't have to work any for another month or two or something, or a year. I don't know.
Nice. That's a good move. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see in you, like, you channeled some of your dad's energy there with the entrepreneurship, right? Like, you're not...
I'm a full hustler like my dad.
Hustler, right. When did you ever have a job when you were in Whistler? Like, did you start?
Oh yeah, I've been
like Sushi
the minute
Village
I moved to Whistler, I was looking for a job. Yeah,
yeah.
I cleaned. I was a day cleaner, busser / busser.
Yeah,
at Roundhouse.
So what was the hours on that? Did you ride the mornings?
That was a full day shift. It was shit. But
that's
then
the
the
worst
night
job.
guy.
Yeah.
Troy, who I ran into at Splits Grill, he's still working at the mountain. This is fucking crazy. I saw him. Anyways, he didn't like the night shift, so he swapped it out.
You guys just swapped jobs?
Just swapped jobs.
Like, as
hey,
if
he
you're
wants to take mine, I'm taking his. And
as
they
if
were
you could
like,
do
totally
that.
fine. And I worked the night shift, and I got to shred every single day.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's a dream. I remember there were some cherry gigs. Yeah. Sushi Village seemed to be a good one to get.
I never
with.
got into I never served, never bussed, never worked.
There was
in
a pizza
kitchen.
place. There was a pizza place Misty Mountain was really good. Yeah. Like a legendary spot to.
Any delivery
shred.
job was wicked in Whistler.
Delivery, yeah.
I delivered pizza
taxis.
For a while. Taxis
the taxis
amazing.
was not bad, from what I hear.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anything that would let you shred.
Okay, let's go through who you moved out with, because it's just for the listeners, for the people up in Whistler that like know these names. Like,
yeah. So I moved out. Well, like I said, my two of my best friends, Mike Hart, Dave Gottdenker, had moved out already. I was in CJEP, grade 11 or whatever 12 in Quebec.
Yeah.
And I did a year. I was freaking out. They were out here, and I was like, I gotta go. So I asked my mom. She said, okay. And I jumped in the car with 3 other friends, Andrew Ayub, Oliver McDonald, and Jay Drager. They all had girlfriends except for Oliver. Anyways, we drove across Canada. I remember like leaving the province of Quebec and like crossing. Remember the sign like, welcome to Ontario. And I was like, holy fuck, this is it. Like, I'm out of here. And we took a nice long drive. Well, it was probably a week. We fought. It was chaos the whole way. Like,
wait, you're already fighting on.
Well, yeah, Winnipeg. We were in Winnipeg. Got smashed. We lost someone. Anyways, it was. There was a lot of fucking horse shit, but we made it. I wish I could remember. I remember seeing the "Welcome to Whistler" sign, but I can't really remember where. Like, I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
Where did we stay that night? Maybe we stayed at the Boot. Like, I really don't know. But 2 of the friends that had girlfriends ended up like going to Vancouver or something, and we stayed behind, me and Oliver, and waited for the job fair for Whistler Blackcomb or something.
So this is school's out, summer's happening.
It's September.
You get there before
it was like September.
Yeah, you get there.
I was still 18.
Yeah. So you can't even drink.
Can't
in
even
Whistler.
drink.
Yeah.
And
but in Montreal or in Quebec, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I remember camping at Calchek. We slept there for maybe a couple weeks. And then we ended up getting a room at the Boot for a month or 2. Me and Oliver, holy fuck, we fought so much. It was so
were
gnarly.
Were they any good, those Boot rooms, or were they
I don't know. We were 18, we didn't give a shit. Yeah. I think it was fine, honestly. Yeah. I shared a bed probably.
Yeah.
And waited for staff housing to happen.
Better than sleeping in a tent. Much better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got our jobs, and then we got staff housing.
What was the fighting? Just like friends, like teenage
yeah, we were
friends
just like
fighting about this, fighting about that.
I don't know if Oliver remembers it. I don't know if he'll ever listen to this, but like,
yeah,
maybe it was chess. Like, I don't even know. Maybe it was chess, and we just beat each other for beating each other in chess. I fucking don't know.
I remember taking a road trip at that age.
Pretty bad.
And we had a fight that was semi-serious in a hotel room. My friend Craig, Chris, and I. and a lamp got broken, and buckets of water were poured on beds. Like it was
it was gnarly.
We had like a
I'm surprised he
fucking
didn't
full on
kill
fight.
me.
Yeah. You're just a kid. You're just
like I was a fucking twerp, and Oliver's fucking fists, man. Anyways.
So you were frenemies, or this is like one of your best friends?
You know, me and Oliver we weren't like super tight when we left.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. We were friends for sure, but A was my friend, Jay was my friend. And those two split. So me and Oliver stuck it out. We got jobs at the mountain, staff housing. I think he was cooking. I was doing that thing. So there was like different
shifts.
Yeah. And then I got the night shift, man. And we were just riding
who gets the camera? When do you get a camera and start filming?
Pretty early, probably 97, 98. We were like, fuck, we're pretty good. Or I don't even know. But like Sean, do you remember a guy named Sean Hughes? He was a photographer for...
I remember the name, and yes.
He was like, I'm going to get a camera. We'll take pictures of you. And we bought a little digital camera, I guess.
In 97.
Oh, yeah. And no, it wasn't digital. It was like full VHS.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Like you mean a camcorder?
I remember like editing with the VHS tape, and I made this movie called Bad on Blackcomb.
Bad on Blackcomb. Yeah. Can we find that? Is there someone who has
they
it?
lost it. Abby lost it. I don't know.
There was like one copy?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was like tons of park shredding.
Sick.
The O'Dowd brothers.
Wow.
Anyways,
that's right.
We did that, and then there was a moment where this French dude from Quebec, JF Durocher, I'm pretty sure was his name, was like, "Hey, we're out here. We want to make a movie. Do you guys want to film out there, and we'll put it in the movie?" So Mike started filming. We were filming each other, and they put out a movie. I think it was called Revelation, and it was like one of those movies where you have some footage, actual footage, and then you have like contest footage, and you put them in the movie. Like, Travis Rice is in the movie, but he's just
someone went to a contest that Travis was at.
So it's that style. Like,
I love that.
Let's get the big name in there, but he's just there. Like he has no idea we're filming.
Yeah.
So we started there, I guess, with that, and there were a couple years of those, and then I kind of like graduated to one step further.
The next one up, sure.
With Treetop, and Treetop had transitioned at the time to Rick Johnston style rather than the Brad McGregor, Curtis Croy style.
So that was a transition year.
It was, those guys had bounced from Treetop.
What was the name of the movie? What one was that?
The first one Rick did under the treetop was Foreplay.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it went clear cut.
Yep.
Second degree, third degree burns, and then he called this one Foreplay.
Oh, I would have known.
I
know all the movies, and they played in the shop.
Yeah.
See, anything that had like local riding in it would make it on the rotation.
Yeah, right.
In the shop, because we were aspiring to be like, we were the guys under you, right? Like the shop guys are not even filming for movies.
Yeah.
But they're like, we have all the gear and we
and
can
they're
talk
right here.
about
like
it.
all those dudes are around.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of sick.
It is a rad scene.
Yeah.
And then, so, we'd be in the shop, the top tier pros would come through sometimes, need something.
Yeah.
Hey, can I trade these?
Yeah, take whatever you want.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So Treetop was legit. Those were good movies.
To me was legit. It was like the start of the backcountry game, really. Mm-hmm. But I could be wrong.
No, I would
just
agree
because
with
I
that.
live here and I'm like, whoa, but
Yeah, I don't know what their reach was, right? Like
I think it was fucking pretty big.
Yeah. I kind of equate them with the Hostanek movies, which keep going now. Like they were on that same level.
It was the same. There was only like 2 or 3. It was like Jamie Mossberg.
Yep.
Did you do a podcast with him?
Mm-hmm.
I think I listened to it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was like, he
He's
made
amazing.
the best fucking movies, man.
So fun. Yeah.
I thought Milf
He
was
was
one of
an
my all-time favorites.
old school skater. Like if you know the movie Skaters from Uranus, it's an old Bad Boy Club movie, and it's his ass that's on the cover of the. Nice. Like he was a skater at the time. Dude's fucking OG.
Yeah.
And super nice. So Milk was a movie that John Cartwright came into the shop one time and was like, I got to find a copy of Milk. Where do I get a copy of Milk? And we couldn't find it anywhere.
YouTube.
Oh, now it's out. Yeah.
I had one copy in Brocklebank. Or was it Brocklebank? I think he borrowed it and I never got it back.
Yeah.
That was one of the best. Like, fuck, man. That really, backcountry snowboarding opened up right there for me.
Yeah, actually in Mouse's interview, I wouldn't have thought this before, but he basically said, you film with these guys like Devin and your movie's good. And then you call him the next year and you go, Dev, where are we going? And he's like, look, I'm shooting with Mac Dog this year. And you're like, asshole? Like, what are you talking about, man? Not asshole. You're like, oh, dude.
Thanks,
like,
thanks,
oh, well, good. Thanks. Yeah. My movie could be good too. If you film with me, then I got all your footage.
Dude, those were wicked. Golden Circle Awards. 1999, one of my favorites.
Oh, you and Jody are the video guys, hey?
Fuck it. He's insane. After you're watching Jody's podcast on Bomb Hole, like, man, the kid's nuts. Those guys are nuts. Like, I've lost my nerd out, but like, I know where it started for me or whatever, those movies, but man, I've definitely lost touch.
Oh God, there's way too much now. It's not like how it was before. Like, the best shit that I've seen this year was not in movies. It was just Insta clips.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's really hard to come by a good movie these days. Something that you're gonna rewatch like over and over and over again. They're so hard to come by. I'm blown away at. I don't even know what kind of money goes into what people are getting into now. But like, I just don't see myself rewatching anything anymore, except for Rusty's movies, because I love his soundtrack. Snowboarding's great. I watch it every single day.
Really?
But like
the Man Boys stuff.
Man Boys every year. Rusty, snowboarding's great. Music is great.
Yes.
It's hard to come by good music.
That's true.
Joy did it for me with whatever that was, Sage and Red or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, what do I watch, everyone? It's fucking tough. It's not like it used to be.
It's not like it used to be.
It's not.
I keep saying it's like that brands are creating, building their own content. So then there is no incentive to cut anything. But it's also the music rights thing too.
Yeah, music's a big one, right? Like if but when I watch things and I'm like, how do you, with the music that's going, like, how do you wake me up? Like, or like, what are you doing? I don't get it, but fuck, maybe I'm crazy.
You could be
like,
old.
You need to be like, get fired up, man, and go shred. For the day before I broke this wrist.
Yeah.
Or whatever I did. I listened to music I listened to music with earphones one day, maybe 10 years ago. Like, I know what kind of music I like, but it wasn't the same as last week. Like, what the hell, man? You gotta figure out the music, or you're just gonna put people to sleep.
Okay, so you were just saying you haven't listened to music in headphones.
I've never listened to music in headphones.
Just to listen to music.
And just the style. I was listening to like techno.
Okay.
Mall Grab was the first one. Like, I could play it, and I was like, by
send
myself.
It to me. I'll put it behind this. And then we'll get a strike, and I can't. Yeah, no. Go listen to Mall Grab. You loved it. Yeah, I remember. Okay, think about this. Like, early No Effects, Pennywise.
It's got to be the same, right?
Offspring. Remember early Offspring? Like, it would just get you going. Like,
see that? No, honestly, I didn't know actually even what you're saying.
Yeah.
I delivered pizza for 5 years with no stereo in my truck. That's how much I gave a fuck about music. Like,
right.
I liked music, but I didn't care. I wasn't like hearing it.
Yeah.
Or something, but now like something's changed for me. Like, music is number one.
Wow.
In my life. My brother plays in a huge pretty big rock band, Canada Broken Social Scene.
Yeah.
And I went on tour with them hung out. I didn't know anything. I didn't know music. Like I listened to music, but I didn't ever really feel the effects that it had on people.
Right.
Till I went on that tour and like sitting on the side and just, or like hearing people in the bathrooms, like so fired up about the music and how much they enjoyed it, or just some crazy feeling that gave you goosebumps that I never really had before.
Right.
And now like, that's all I want. Like,
where did that come from?
I don't know. Well, maybe because I figured out that I liked fucking dance beats or techno or some shit.
Sure.
But like I'm fully,
you found your
like,
music.
It fucking
grabbed you.
Wakes me up.
I love it. That's amazing.
It's pretty.
Okay, so you just buried the lead there. Your brother's in Broken Social Scene?
Is in Broken Social Scene.
Isn't that a huge band?
It's a huge band.
Big?
Yeah, they're doing
Is it big Canadian big or is it big American big?
All over the world.
Fuck.
Yeah, like he's been everywhere. Russia, you name it. They're traveling. There's a following.
And where 100%. Are they
100%.
from? Where's the band from?
It's a huge collective.
Yeah.
I'm going to say from Montreal, Toronto.
Yeah.
Mainly Toronto.
So
it's like
Canadian.
Metric.
Yeah.
Feist.
Oh, shit.
They're all part of it. It's like a group.
Wow.
They've been doing this for 20 plus years.
Fuck yeah.
And my brother came in and they asked him to join in 2007.
Sick. And that's his full-time gig.
Yeah. Well,
He's
not so much right
pizza.
now. I mean, they're still doing things like the odd show, but they're not like touring. I mean, I guess they did just do a tour, but not like, what do I know? But he did just do a tour. It's not, he's got it. He has another job. He works in film.
Okay.
But back in 2007, they were touring like nonstop.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to go. He asked me to go on it when he first signed out here. My mom told me that he had signed up with this band and it started with social. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Social Distortion.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's like, no way. My brother's in Social Distortion. This is insane. And then it was Broken Social Scene. I've heard of them. I didn't really know. It's a little more mellow for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm stoked for him. He's stoked. And I went on tour with him for a European tour and a US tour.
Sick.
And yeah, they're full on. It's a wild lifestyle. Not super wild, but like super busy and like you're going full blast.
Yeah. Town to town production.
Like Europe, you're okay, we're done, pack the stage, load the bus, and we got to drive 10 hours.
Jesus.
The US was city to city, it was a couple hours. It wasn't that crazy, but.
And what size of crowds are these? Like stadium crowds?
Mm-mm.
Like
no, let's say they do Commodore 3 nights in a row.
Commodore, yeah, that's sick.
So they do Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something.
That's fucking awesome.
2,000, 3,000 people.
Yeah, that's
if I remember correctly. Like New York City that Webster Hall is probably like 2,000 to 3,000.
Sick.
Yeah, it was wicked. They're doing great.
Was it a crazy lifestyle? Maybe you don't want to, like
it wasn't
with like groupies and
no. Coming like from the outside, coming in, that's what I thought. I'm like,
totally.
I'm like, what is going to go on the tour? You know,
I thought that about the Forum team. Like talking with Devin about it, like it must have just been girls throwing themselves at you the whole time. And he's like, not really. But he was married, so maybe he doesn't want to talk about it.
It wasn't that wild. Like you can't bring people. We couldn't bring people on the bus. Because we're leaving, we're going 10 hours. See you later.
So the show starts, it plays, people come out, line up to meet them, and it's
You're
like
packing the bus.
Sorry, guys, and you meet
and wherever you could party.
And
was
the girl's
great.
the girl's like,
the U.S. We were partying.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, but it's like, what you're going to after party at a show promoter's place and playing more instruments, or going back to hotels with people.
We went to a couple houses.
Yeah. Of super fans. And those people's minds were blown. Yeah. They're like, I can't believe you guys are at my fucking house.
Exactly. Yeah, we went. It was Halloween. And we left a bar in Portland. My brother, Colin Adair, a friend of mine, Molly, and Jimmy from Metric, the guitarist, from Broken Social.
Yeah.
And we went to a house. It wasn't even a party. It was Molly's house. And we were just kind of hanging out. And those guys, there was a guitar and they start jamming out. And then the roommate comes down like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing in my house? Like, it was amazing. That was one incident. It was pretty cool.
That's fucking
There was one
sick.
where we were in, I think it was Atlantic City, played the show. We went to the casino, played some blackjack. And then earlier in the day, we were in a record shop and they recognized the band or whatever. I don't know what happened, but next thing you know, we get a call while we're playing blackjack. We're going to play that house party or this.
Amazing.
And we all packed up our shit, went to this bar, whatever it was. And I remember being in the bathroom and like people tripping out, like, there are broken social scenes here. They're playing. It's a surprise. No one even knows what's happening. It's a free show. Like, get down here. And everybody's freaking out and the goosebumps are happening. Like, people are so fired up. It was wicked. It was a good experience for the 7 weeks I had there. I would have I sucked at tuning. I had to tune guitars.
That was your job.
Before I left, I didn't know that was my job.
Okay.
But the day before I left, my brother's like, man, you got to figure out how to tune a guitar. I sucked. I tried, I sucked. And I'm like tuning guitars on the side of the stage, handing it to them. Like, I felt so horrible.
I love honestly. You so much, dude.
It was so
Your
bad.
Life is
it was best. So bad to the point where like, at one point I could hear Kevin, this lead singer, he's like, we're going to get your brother to Paris and then he's got to go. And I was like, oh man, I got to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got 2 more weeks. And then, so I busted my ass, setting the stage up, putting the water, doing whatever I could, you know? And then by the time I got to Paris, they're like, you're coming. And next thing you know, I'm doing the US tour. It was pretty wicked.
You're not tuning. You didn't bust your ass learning how to tune. You're like, I can make myself
I still
useful
tuned
here.
Every show.
Right. But you're like,
but I sucked.
But you still sucked at the tuning.
I had to
you
like, make up for it somewhere else. I made up. My brother was super lazy. He was like running around and I was packing up the gear.
I love it. That's the best, dude. Yeah, it is wild when you're traveling with a group, or I mean, not that I've ever done that, but I've done production stuff with a group where, you know, to be above the median, there's a lot of people standing around a lot of the time, right? So you could just like, oh, this shit needs to be packed up, or stack these chairs, move these out of the way. Will that work? And then if you do that in front of the right people, the guys are like, this guy is indispensable. We need this guy.
Yeah, like you didn't even have to pay me, and they ended up paying me.
Oh, that's rad. That's super rad.
And like that's where I thought, like my snowboarding was close. It was coming to a close maybe. And I was like, maybe tour managing would be cool. Because I could see pretty much the same thing that I was doing for myself, you know, like managing my fucking career.
Right.
And I could easily take care of, well, in my mind, like the responsibilities of a tour manager.
So how do you pick the painting thing? Do you like to paint? Was that a thing that you liked to do, or was it just this is an opportunity?
It was.
I know the story from the Airtown, actually.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't know if I talked about this part in the story when maybe I did.
Doesn't matter.
But I came home from my first year in Whistler, going back, and I needed a job. And my girlfriend at the time, her dad had friends, and they were like, oh, they need this garage painted. Okay. And I went, and all they gave me was a brush.
Oh, no.
And they wanted me to paint a metal door. It had like panels on it, but I remember in my mind going like, this stroke has to be continuous. Like, you don't want to see brush strokes. You can't just like thrash this wicked metal door with brush strokes. Like, that was my mentality then.
Sure.
And then maybe the same year, my dad, we watched this infomercial where you like suck paint out of this can and put it into your roller. And I was like, maybe I should paint the ceiling in the dining room. And we bought this machine. So like there was something, and I was probably 18.
Infomercial. That's amazing.
But really, when I didn't think about painting forever until my friend Sean was just, if you need some side work, because I wasn't really doing anything. And I would paint, and I understood it, I understood what it took to make it look good, I guess.
And then more than that, you understood the relationship with the customer. That there's a naivete to somebody that needs to get something painted. They don't know how much it costs to paint a thing.
Yeah. Well, you have to be.
I
wouldn't know. I had to learn. Like, I pretty much taught myself from the ground up. Like I had no fucking clue. I remember doing my first, it was Mathieu Forcier, if he listens to this. He's like, oh, this couple, a friend or something next, my neighbor is looking to get their place done. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. How much is this going to cost? What is this? And so I remember rolling out a gallon of paint. And how long did that take me? Okay, it took me 2 hours to roll a gallon. How many gallons? How many square feet are in a gallon? 400 square feet per gallon. How many? And then I measure the wall space, and I'm like, okay, well, this is how much wall space. This is how much paint I need, and this is how long it takes me to paint 1 gallon. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So that's how I broke that down. That's the only part of school I remember, like solving these problems, and like that was one of them. Like, I got this. Okay, wicked. And then we just started and kept, because I made so much money on that job. It made no sense to me.
Right.
But I cheaped out on the paint.
Okay.
I ended up doing 3 more coats than I had to because the paint was so shit.
Yep.
Like I had to cover, instead of 2, I had to do 5 or something. And I still made money, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is pretty wicked. I only have to do a couple of these a year or whatever. I didn't really care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was still shredding. And then it just slowly, the momentum kept going, and
word of mouth. People like, this guy
my
painted
friend
my
Matt
house.
Morgan
Really
at the
well.
time. Do you remember Matt Morgan?
Matt Morgan.
He was a builder,
name.
and like you want to get in with the builders. Chris Adario was a builder, and like Matt was a good friend of mine from snowboard or whatever, from life.
Yep.
And he had a company, and he was giving me all his contracts for the new builds. And
right. So now you're not even dealing with the customer. He's like, I'm building this
I
house.
definitely
and I'm
was
doing this
still
thing.
dealing with customers for like I was coming to Vancouver. I was fucking sleeping in my truck, and just like wherever I could get work, that's where I was going. I didn't mind coming to the city. Like,
yeah,
you know, I did Jeff Andrick's house. I slept in my truck, or I found places to sleep.
Sick.
Just like it. I'm so happy that I don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
Like that was a fucking pain in the ass. But it got me, like now I'm cruising.
Right.
Just with the new construction. Like we're in, there's no getting out now.
Oh, that's sick.
It's pretty awesome for sure.
How many years did that take from Jeff Andrick's place to doing or like from that those first jobs?
We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're 6. We've been incorporated for 6 years.
Yeah. And you did the whole thing. You registered the company, incorporated the whole thing. You do the write-off and the corporate.
It was probably
taxes.
2007 when I...
Well, that's 17 years ago.
That's a lie then. So 2007 was when I almost had that baby. But like...
What's that story?
Oh, 2010, Helen was still there. So it was probably more like 22. It was probably like 5 years of just self-employed, running around, paying some cash here and there to people to work, and just doing it like that, making probably 30, 40,000 a year, whatever.
Still not bad money.
Not bad. But I was definitely like, man, it was 20. I'm going to say at the start was $25 an hour kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're paying someone 20, making $5.
Yep.
And so he did that for probably like 7 years, and then I made like so much money. I had no idea that, because you were just so busy, I didn't know. And then I had to pay tax.
Yep.
And it was massive. I was like, how did I not see this coming? And that's what I had to incorporate.
Yep. Yeah, because you got to write off all the fucking expenses.
You just got to keep a business account.
It's a smart way to do it. And then keep yourself out of it. Pay yourself a wage.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And let the company do its thing and pay tax on. Yeah. Rich dad, poor dad shit. I remember reading that book.
I never read it, man.
It's pretty basic stuff. It's just basically the difference between assets and liabilities, right? Like rich people don't think about buying Ferraris and shit like that. Wealthy people don't. Rich, you can look rich and not be rich. You could have lots of loans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But wealthy people are like building assets that are just throwing off money. They write a book, and then every time the book is published again, they're making more money. That's the way they look at things. You buy a house, it doesn't matter that it's not in your name. You put it in your wife's name, so you're not paying any taxes, and then you rent it out, and and you live in your truck. Like that's the thing. Is it because living in your truck? Look at the wild man from
West
Squamish.
No.
Up the Squamish Valley Road.
Who? Martin Gallant.
Martin, fucking Christ. Like, he's like the epitome of that. He builds his nice cabin. Someone says you can Airbnb it out. I'll live in my camper.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, I lived in my camper the whole time. Yeah, like, yeah, he's a maniac. But he's wealthy. Like,
he's loaded. He can't believe
wealthy.
it. He's like, wow, I just crushed it.
He's wealthy because that's the wealthy mindset is like, I don't give a shit if I'm living in a camper or a fucking tent or whatever, and working hard and building something that's like fucking rad.
I wish I've never
sick
been.
As shit. Really?
I've never been to his up the valley yet. I've never no.
It's
but I've heard so
nice. It's really and it's him. You know what I mean? It's like he made it. It's like
he's done well. Great.
Yeah. Was he a big character out there when you first moved out?
No. Well, I didn't know him for a few years. It was always just like Pelchat and the boys, Gaetan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Martin was there.
Well, there's a difference.
I didn't get to know him for a few years.
Between like the Whistler scene of people that care about the Whistler scene. Like there's some people that are out there, they're like, I'm making it in Whistler. And then there's some people that are just like, I'm fucking Whistler, I'm making it happen in Whistler. Right? Moving to Pemberton, getting sleds, doing all that kind of stuff. So has it always been like that? That's what it looks like to an outsider.
I guess.
Right? Like when I'm thinking of early Whistler, like Dano and Sean and Nix and those guys, like it meant something to be the biggest deal in Whistler. Like people cared about that, but then eventually you outgrow that thing. I don't know.
I have no idea. Those dudes are like before my time. Right?
Way before, right?
Well, not way, but like I remember just being terrified of everybody.
I remember being terrified going up there too. Like they had a reputation, like they would just beat the shit out of you.
Now Nix is like one of my best friends. But like they were just like the next year up, and we're looking up. I remember like riding the chairlift one day, probably going to work to clean toilets. And like, I can't say 100% it was them in the gondola, but I'm pretty sure it was Kearns, Johnson, and Sansalone. Mainly because I saw a lot of Santa Cruz.
Yep.
But I still didn't know, but you knew, you know?
Totally.
And I was like, I was just behind schedule.
Yeah, no, of course.
But yeah.
But you're on Next Generation too, right? Like that's a hard thing for, guests of the show early on talking about like seeing that next thing happening where you're at a photo shoot and you go, that kid is better, like so much better. Like, and I'm not gonna do that. Kevin Young was talking about driving out to some jump somewhere and watching people commuting into town to go to their jobs and just being like, I think I want a job. Like, I don't think I want to go out here and do this again because it's getting bigger and there's tricks like, when your trick is like a 7 and you're like better than everybody else, and then somebody does a 10, you're like, oh fuck, I don't even have a 9 yet.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Right? And you were at that at some point. Hungry, younger generation, faster, better than the bigger tricks than the old guys.
Definitely hungry. But yeah. Not that hungry. I guess like we were just boarding.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of moments where I was like trying new tricks and like really fucking trying to learn things.
You didn't have a season where you were like, okay, I'm not hurt. The jumps are good. I'm riding every day. I'm trying new shit. I'm fucking, my sponsors are telling me I'm going to be in these movies. Those kinds of years. I
don't think I did it right. Honestly, like I just don't remember like going like training. I don't know if that makes.
No, it totally makes sense.
I just remember like shredding.
Yeah.
And trying new tricks while you're filming, I guess. Like, man, I don't know what I'm thinking about right now.
No, this is like, the real shit. Like, this is it. Like, there's some guys are hungry. Like, I'm going to get the fucking biggest sponsors. I'm going to do the biggest tricks. I'm going to be in the biggest movies. I'm going to do this, and this. Some people are riding, hoping, and some people who would be great in those movies are riding, hoping, waiting for someone to discover them. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm doing pretty good in the park here. Is there anybody around that wants to
You know what it was for me? I remember doing, we would do the local contests, and then my crew, like my all the boys I came with and my best friends, Mike, Dave, like they didn't go on the little contest tour. Mm-hmm. Like I would fly home by myself, steal my brother's van or my dad's van and drive to Stoneham by myself, no crew, like no JFJSO and like John Roth and the boys, they had their crew, the French crew, and like I'm just doing this solo tour. Like I'm going to sleep in my van, I'm going to do this contest, see how I do, and I'm going to go to Blue Mountain, I'm going to do that, and I'm alone.
Okay.
So like my crew wasn't fucking doing this, but I could feel I would just hear the microphone guy and just be like, yeah, man, that guy's ripping. I do the Vans tour, and just hearing that gave me like, I am pretty good or something. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
I remember the Vans tours, the Vans, what was it called? Vans
Triple Crown?
Vans Triple Crown.
Yeah.
It was Breckenridge.
Yeah,
and I did the border cross and the big air and the pipe. And there wasn't very many people doing it all. And like, I was pretty fast. I was border cross, like whatever. I was good at it, even though something happened to my brain where I would make finals and just like fall or some shit. But like, I would always hear them talking.
You'd hear it on the mic.
I'd hear my name like, this guy's been ripping all weekend. This guy's... And I was like, okay, maybe I'm fucking all right.
Oh, you were all
I just
right.
keep like, just keep shredding. But there wasn't a time where I was just like, I need to go get this like train, or I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but you just bored and try tricks.
Well, I remember seeing you and Akasha at when I got in the LBS, and the way that you guys were taking the bank slalom more seriously than the median. I'd say you guys were like faster whacks, talking about the turns.
Yeah, we definitely have the juice.
Yeah, and talking about the turns and strategizing together, and you put down fast times, and I was like, fuck, these guys are taking it kind of serious.
You have to bank slalom. Well, you know what? Yeah. Now I wish I took it even not more serious, but now I understand that race more now that I can't get in anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like we were cruising before where we weren't like, okay, qualify for finals, whatever, place top 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You're always getting back in. Yeah. And then that year that you're talking about, we both made finals. I like qualified first. And
that's right. You qualified first.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. And then Curtis Cizik drops off a case of some fruity drinks that were so gnarly, and I ended up vomiting at like 7:30 p.m.
Like 4 Locos or something?
I had like 2 margarita things.
Okay, yeah.
And then I smoked some weed with Ben Block, maybe?
Sure.
And in the RV, and at 7:30 I was like greened out, vomiting in the back, and woke up kind of like, what the fuck happened? And then Kashi was freaking out because, as you said, we're like kind of, and we want to make it. Kashi really wants to fucking get some duct tape.
Right.
So we're nerding out together in the van.
And it was like a buddy. You guys were buddies. Like it was like, and that's different than you going to these contests alone. Now all of a sudden you got a friend and it's kind of fun and you're fucking hanging with Meg Peace.
Baker's great. Yeah. Like if you can get in, try to stay in. Like I can't get in anymore because I got wasted. Or not that I got wasted, but I talked to Seth Westcott about this, and I was like trying to be. We woke up hungover, or not really. I went to bed at 7:30. Like I woke up, my brain fog was there, and Kashi was freaking out. He's a freak. He's like, "Oh man, what did we do? What did we do?" And I'm like, "I went to bed at 7:30. What did you do?" And he kind of like wandered around and hung out. But still, we didn't get smashed or anything. But I remember getting off the chair, and there was a little hit on the right, and I aired, and I was like, I'm fine. Like my balance is there.
Good to go.
There. I'm okay. But we kept second guessing, saying, oh man, what did we do? It was so stupid. And then the fifth turn is like an icy, I think it's the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's the sixth. It melted out.
Back towards
it's a right-hand turn.
Yes.
And it's like there was like ice there.
Yeah.
And people were eating shit. And I was like, get stuck in my head. Okay, so what do? We just put in a run. We just like get through that thing, slow down, get through it. Next one, go full speed.
Mm-hmm.
Getting through and then just having like the worst fucking score or time. Like, what did I do?
Wait, what did you get?
I don't know. It just sucked. That first run sucked.
Yeah.
And then the second run, I fell.
Oh,
and my second, I fell.
Oh,
and
no.
Get this, I fell and my time was better than my first. So I was telling this story to Seth because we were painting his house.
Whoa.
And I was like, you go full blast, right? You never be a bitch. You just, every run is full speed. He's like, yes.
Yeah, then if you fall,
I will never
second
second guess that race if I can ever get back in. Now I'm out.
Yeah.
Can't get in.
Oh, that's
because
brutal.
I was a little fucking baby.
There's a lot to it though.
Full blast.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Never be a bitch. Like, remember they used to have those Vancouver quarter pipe things back in the day? It was like 97.
Oh yeah.
There was like a quarter pipe contest in the thing.
Like in the
stadium.
In the stadium, yeah. I was there.
That was right when I got on Nitro, and
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. Like I wasn't that good.
Sure.
But I just want to like land a trick. And
Yeah.
I was doing them like this high.
Yeah,
like
that
2 feet off. It was so stupid. Like
it was
no
a
one's gonna fucking
wacky
give a
quarter
shit.
pipe. Right.
Why would I
You need
try?
to just fucking blast.
Yeah, you just go full blast
right,
all the time. Who cares if you fall? As long as
Westcott is a maniac.
yeah, he's amazing.
Though anyone who gets to that level, like those
You just see it.
super winners, that's a lame thing to call it. But
He's
like,
an awesome. Seth is way
like world champion, like a world champion guy. They're on another level, and they're not thinking like, "Oh shit, that turn, I should slow down." Like you're saying, they're just full blast
so
the whole
many
way
times.
through.
That's one thing I look back in the career, whatever the contest career, and getting so thrashed in my head. Just having so much fun practicing, qualifying, and then as soon as you get into finals, my brain would go like this.
Oh wow!
And I would shit my pants, and I'd just eat shit.
Oh wow!
It
So
was
Natasha Zurich got on Burton from Option, right?
Yeah.
She was on Never, maybe she was never even on Option. It was pretty early on. She got discovered by Burton. I think they were like, this girl's fucking amazing. But I don't know if it was the Burton team or if she did it on her own, but she got a mental coach.
Yeah,
because
good idea.
that's what you fucking need. Right? Like think about you with a mental coach.
For sure, 100%.
It's then all of a sudden you're this contest monster.
Man. I remember trying out for the like BC or Canadian snowboard team, I guess.
Yep.
At Brome Ridge.
Yeah.
There was tryouts. We did it on the glacier, and then we ended up there. And I remember having a meeting, or like you had like an interview with the guy. I think it was Colin White. Is that a name?
Yes, that is a what?
I think it was him.
Yeah, Colin White. Yeah.
And I think I remember saying like I would love to have a coach for my brain.
Right.
Maybe it was one of their questions, and that's I don't know what it was, but I remember I if I would have like it would have I would have seen things differently for sure because I really saw the worst all the time.
So this is how I mean I've interviewed like 200 snowboarders now or 150 whatever, and there's a real divide between the Travis Rice guy that wants to be the top guy, and then there are these guys, and I put you in this category, that are like incredible riders that everybody just knows that you rip, but that the contest hierarchy wasn't like the big draw for you. You're not going to...
Just didn't understand it, I guess.
Right.
Or
because being good and hearing people say like, fuck, you see that guy on hut jump or whatever, fuck, he just did a whatever. Like people talking about it in town later on, like, fuck, he did this. Like, that's enough for some people to be like, yeah, I did that thing. But you did it on your own terms. It's not like, okay, and up next, Here he comes. All right, dropping in for the, these sponsors and doing this thing and getting in your head of like this hierarchy of judgment, right? Like it's like when you're riding for yourself, you qualify first. Then once something's on the line, pain in the ass.
Weird.
Not that weird, actually. But it's pretty normal.
How do you, like, if I could go back in time, how could you make it different?
Well, what would you want? Like, would you want to be
how could I not put so much pressure maybe or something? Like so much pressure. I made it, no problem. Easy, fucking make it.
Yeah.
Into finals. Now that I'm here, why can I not enjoy it or something? Why am I putting so much pressure on it? Like, what was that?
Usually it's like a young brother, like the guy who makes it through is the young brother who's like trying to prove it to the older brother. Like, look at me, I'm better than you now. You know what I mean? Like maybe you just didn't have that, hey, everybody, I'm better than everybody vibe. You're just riding for yourself. So when it came down to it, it's like, I don't know. You know what? I'm trying to fucking get in your brain on it. It's sports psychology. That's why these guys have fucking coaches for their mental game. Yeah. Because
how do you just stay in the zone?
Yeah, because everybody gets knocked out.
Look at Mark, look at fucking natural selection. Like,
yeah,
those guys are.
I bet you every single one of those people has a fucking mental coach. Yeah. Like you think, I don't know. I'll ask Austin Sweeten, like, do you have a coach for your fucking mindset?
Like, I'm having the best fucking
he
time
looks
ever.
like he's
you
having
don't even
the
have
best
to.
time.
Like, why were you overthinking everything? You know, that's probably what it was. Something just like totally overthinking. Oh my God, so much pressure. Oh my God,
I'm here. Right.
I'm just gonna. Oh God.
Right.
You know, like, but it's like, fuck off. Like,
shut up. Yeah.
You made it here. You're fine. Like,
just keep doing the same thing.
Like,
well, that's what TJ said in his episode 2 weeks ago. Was that Blue welcomed him to the team saying, okay, look, you're pro now. Everything has changed. Everything's different now. Now everyone at the hill is going to be gunning for you and watching everything you do. And if you fall, you're fucked. It was like, and maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, but it was like, that's the opposite of what you tell your guy. You're pro because you're you, right? So it's the same thing. If your head was going, all right, we did it. We qualified first. Let's just do that again. How fun was that? Let's do this and fucking maybe we'll win. But I could see it. You guys were like looking at your times and caring about it. In the beginning, when you qualified first, you were like, holy fuck.
Well, the first year I ever did Baker Banked Slalom, I never fucking thought of it. Well, I guess I did, but like, I didn't know like wax mattered or, you know, like,
oh God,
all these things. Just like
wax is so important.
Man, everybody really fucking wants to go fast. It's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Same with like baked salmon was sick too. Like, I hope that thing comes back to life.
I don't think it will because they won't do it anywhere but Seymour. So Seymour was like, well, you have to get like insurance for all the people that are working there on it. And it just kiboshed the event. I wish that it would too, but it's logistically, it doesn't sound like it's coming back. I'm going to do something though. I'm going to do a Tri-Mountain series where you ride something at Cypress, something at Grouse, something at Seymour. And it'll probably be one of those, at least it'll be like, have a racing element to it. The other will be like filming, you know, like just, it'll be a clip contest. Just come up and film with your buddy. Whoever gets the best clips, celebrity panel of judges, and you, if you get a good clip, you could fucking win, which is awesome for like everybody.
Everybody,
right? Because you're not guaranteed good clips, but if you're a fucking semi-pro, then you got a better chance than most. Do something big, something good. Yeah, you guys. It's funny because you're kind of a competitor at heart. But at the same time, also a very soulful, like, let's just go fucking snowboard.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely competing. Yeah, it was fun. I had fun doing it. Whether I won or not, didn't really matter. But it was fun, like hanging out with your homies and traveling around. And I mean, it would have been nice to win, I guess.
The homie factor is like is the thing that now me looking back at snowboarding, like the camaraderie of like having friends that you're doing this with.
Like going home to Empire Shakedown, because that's pretty much hometown.
Yeah.
Like, that was sick. Like everybody's there. You're having
Those were
a fucking
huge.
blast.
Yeah.
Usually always made finals, and that's all that really mattered, because you always kind of want to ride at night. And if you didn't, I guess we were bummed. I think it only happened once.
That you didn't make finals?
I didn't make finals, and I was like, wow. It's
at the
over.
shakedown. Was that the end of the end? No, of course it wasn't over.
But yeah, contests were fun. Hanging out with all your homies.
But how many days a week were you riding otherwise?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. 60 plus at least, 80 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's tough. This year I feel like my goal was 60.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know if I'm at 40. I must be close to 40. You must have a ton.
You know what happened was I stopped counting because I found I was counting days that didn't really count.
No,
you know what I mean?
To count every day you strap in.
I know, but they don't count if you go and take one lap and it fucking
I would
sucked.
go from the park. If I went from the parking lot to the base.
Yep.
Which I never, I would go up the hill, but as soon as I strapped in, it was amazing.
Oh yeah, sure.
I would count this as a day. This has made my day.
Riding ice is one of the best fucking feelings, because the next day when you have done even something small on super hard pack and it just softens that little bit, it's like such a gift. You're like, oh, I already have my confidence on this thing, and now I get extra confidence because it's fucking epic conditions versus the crazy shit we were riding yesterday. I love that. I love that.
Was yesterday shit?
No, but I just mean riding in bad conditions makes the good conditions 10 times better. If you only go when it's good conditions.
Yeah, this year's been something else, different. But not really. I can only really remember going up the gondola and coming down twice, straight to my car, because I was like,
only 2 days this year that happened.
Yeah, not bad.
So that's good, actually.
It's amazing.
Early season,
everybody's
was supposedly
fucking tripping
out there. Yeah,
if I'm putting an edge in, I'm stoked.
Yeah,
Kashi makes the best boards around. I don't even you ride my board, you're stoked.
What are his boards? Let's plug them, because
High Tide
Manufacturing,
built in Pemberton by Kashi.
He builds them, hand builds them himself.
They're the best. He used to work with DC, worked with a bunch of brands.
Cool.
And he's super meticulous. The guy's insane.
Mm-hmm.
You want him to make your board, and that's what he does. It's the best materials, and
they ride really, really
so
well.
amazing. My board is so good. I had one that I've been riding for, let's say, 2 years, and he's like, dude, I'll get you another board. I don't need one. Mine's fine. I am falling in my heel side turns, but I feel like it's just me being weak.
Okay.
And so he makes me a new board. What the fuck was I doing? This board is insane. I've never been able to pull into a heel side turn like that, especially with JS bindings. Just give some forward lean, and you're just into the turn so hard and dig so hard, and the thing's holding the whole way. Yeah, there's something else. My board, anyways.
Yeah.
I've never ridden a board like that.
I remember having some days testing boards back in the 90s. Companies would go to Whistler because if our boards ride well in Whistler, they'll ride great everywhere, right? And so just as a shop rat guy, you'd get to test stuff. I remember testing Solomon's first run of boards and Rossi boards for some reason.
Rossi boards are good.
At Whistler, they rode so fucking that edge hold you're talking about at those high speed runs.
Magnet traction or whatever they call it?
No, it was pre-mag. It was old. It was the old full foam core boards. They used to ride fucking magic. And but I remember also that the grooming at Whistler was really fucking good. Yeah. It's super whack to go to Coastal Mountains are really difficult to groom properly, I guess. That's not true, because you go to Mount Hood, sometimes Mount Hood grooming is just fucking flawless. And Whistler's Coastal Mountain too.
This year the grooming's off, but
it happens, right?
they're not grooming as much.
Best grooming I've ever ridden was Whistler, and it was
Sun Peak's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Sun Peaks was really good too. Yeah. Nothing like Powder Day's number one. Fresh, good, soft corduroy. God damn, it's good.
That's why Whistler Blackcomb's the best. People want to shit talk. I don't know. I've said this before, but like, they've got the grooming. They've got the snowmaking. Maybe not this year though. This year made it feel like maybe it's more of a local ski hill kind of. Really, like, well, they didn't groom that run. They didn't groom that one. But still, there's nobody fucking here. Everybody thinks there's people here, but there's like, I'm riding on the chair. There's no one around. It feels like I'm in the fucking middle of nowhere.
All I've seen is lineups that are insane.
I know, it's crazy.
All I've seen are pictures of lineups that don't make any sense whatsoever at all. Like, it's like this, because opening day lineups, sure, the opening day goes all the way through the village. That's fine. But like on a
I don't know why you go to those lines. Like, I don't know why, if you're actually like thinking ahead of time, planning ahead, like, you don't, why are you even there at that hour?
Right.
You have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, like 6:15, like, or not 6, maybe 6:45. No later than 7 on a POW day on a fucking Saturday.
Sure.
If you show up at 10, you're an idiot. Like,
you're
just
an
go
idiot.
fucking stay in line. That's
even
what you
9,
get.
right. If you're shooting for 8
if you're
o'clock,
7:30, you're screwed.
Right.
You're at Portobello.
Right, exactly.
Like, if you don't know, then fucking that's what you get. But if you're there at 6:45, you're ahead of the game and you're riding the best snow.
But how many people are there at 6:45? Like, you're looking
You're
at
almost
50
through
people?
the corral.
Yeah.
But like Blackcomb Base, 7 o'clock, you're at the end of the corral, which is still only like a 10-minute wait.
Do I have to cut this out? Because, like, is this a secret thing that people
I just test it.
secret?
If you're not smart, then don't just fucking show up whenever you want. But like, I know when I get there, I get it in, and in 2 hours, I'm done. I can go home fucking super happy.
Same. I'm the same here. That's why Grouse, Seymour, Cypress is so my home, is that I can get up at, let me do the numbers. Yeah, 7:45 is the first tram on the weekends at Grouse. I can get up literally at 7. I could get up at 7, get dressed fast, drive over, and still make first tram. That's how fucking rad it is here. And then you're riding for 3 hours with nobody. And when you come down, there's a lineup out the fucking wazoo. Everything's gone anyways. Yeah. And then you can go over to Cypress, and they've opened the top chair. It's like if you time peak chair perfectly, and you've already ridden like all the good shit, and then you know when peaks can open, and now you're in the front of the line for peak, and you've had everything already.
Yeah, you just got to get on the program, man.
Yeah, and everybody's got the program. Not everybody. People that give a shit do.
Yeah.
It's funny how, like, there's so many people that just don't give a shit.
And they don't get it. Like, I've had some friends stay over, and like, we're battling. Dude, I'm out of here in fucking 10 minutes. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, man.
I need coffee.
Like, all right, see you later. Like, I'm gone. If not, it's going to ruin my day. Like, I'm going to park, and then I'm not going to be in the corral, and I'm going to freak out and just go home.
It's a POW panic. I have it all the time too.
And it does disappear. Like, I remember, the most recent POW day, it's like you did one run. I remember doing one run.
Yeah.
Being at the end of the corral, getting up, one run to mid station, getting no line, getting on. And like, you're coming up, looking around like, holy fuck, it's done. We've only done one run.
One run and done. Yeah. I've seen that.
But you still managed to blast one over there, and you're like, okay, that was actually unbelievable. And then you go to that chair, and it's amazing. And then you go to that chair, it's like amazing for at least 2-3 hours, like
right.
And then really any hill gets fucking blasted.
Baker, oh my god! I remember leaving for Baker at 6 a.m. Traffic out the wazoo somehow, fucking snow on the roads. I remember somebody spinning off the fucking road in front of us, and we're just going by them like, sorry, buddy. I guess that's what's happening for you today. Getting to the parking lot at 9:30, right? Like, as you get into Glacier and there's already traffic, you're like, no, oh no. And getting into the parking lot at 9:30 and being fucking so bombed because it's gone.
I know, right?
It's gone.
Such a shitty feeling.
Everything is gone.
There was one day this year, it was 42 centimeters, Saturday morning.
Big
I think it was
day.
the first POW day of the year.
Big
really.
day.
And it wasn't too long ago, like it was probably January.
Yep.
And drove in from Pemberton, which is interesting now. But I pull in. I actually get dropped off.
What's different about Pemberton?
Well, it's just I got to leave earlier, half hour earlier.
Because there's so much more people,
like 25
so many more
minutes.
people there now.
No, just like if I lived, because I used to live in Whistler.
Oh, because you live in Whistler.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'm leaving at 6:15.
It's adding time. Yeah,
I get dropped off this time, and it's 7, and the line is to Portobello at 7, and I'm like, oh my god, it snowed 42. I fucking blew it, and I called Sansalon. Where are you? This is crazy, man. Like, I'm gonna go home, I think. And he's like, I'm at the front of the line. Like, no, you're not. He's like, come in. So I sort of lurked around. I actually put my board in the lodge. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I did. I put my board in the lodge and walked to the front of the line with no board, so no one can actually like yell at you.
Yeah.
And I get in line with the Kev and everybody. I'm like, holy fuck, dude, how am I going to get in here without? And these guys have been waiting since 5:30 in the morning.
5:30 for that 42
for
day.
the front.
Yeah.
For the front by the fucking entrance.
Yeah, not the corral.
No,
the
we're
front.
right at the front, right in front of the. We're like 10th, first gondola in, and so I'm hanging out. I actually put my glasses on, hoping that people would recognize that, not me as a but like, you stand out with glasses, like, oh, you know,
The guy with the glasses.
yeah. So then I left, got my board, came back with my glasses on. As I'm coming back, and his crew are fucking snaking the line as well. People are losing it, and I'm coming in, and they're pissed. And the
Of
guy's
course
like,
they're pissed.
I didn't know what to say. I had nothing to say. I was like, yo, man. Like, I remember like trying to freak out. I was there. I've been in line. But whatever. I managed to just
hold on. You hold on
yeah,
to
you're
it.
just like, I did it.
Yeah.
Logan Short snaked that line as well. And someone tried to give him shit. And he said, listen, me coming in here is not going to ruin your day. I was coming up from Squamish to meet these friends. And if I can't meet them, I'm back there by myself. And that's going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy fucking opened the gate for him and let him in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can use that one.
Hey, I'm not going to say I haven't snaked the line. I've snaked the line in Whistler before, too, for
You
sure.
just gotta own it, I guess.
I mean, I've got friends that used to not just snake the line; they would not pay for a ticket. They would just go around. They go around the scan and just walk in, but not in the middle of the line, like at the front of the line. Like some boldness. Boldness can work sometimes.
I've got a good one, but I can't tell it.
Yeah,
but it's good. It works. Shit. Is anybody listen to this?
Yeah, I've got a couple this year that I've shared with friends where I'm just like, yeah, I can't tell them. It's the way it goes. That's the thing. If you don't know to get in line, like if you don't know how the timing works, you're not going to get that good shit.
No, man, it makes no sense if they're fucking. Who knows what they're up to? Like,
well, Brett Tippy's a great example. I called him and was like, "Hey, you want to go ride Cypress today?" And he's like, "Do I?" Like, holy fuck, we're going up at 11. Is there going to be any snow? I'm like, yeah, because Skychair hasn't opened yet. He goes, I got up, I got on the road, and I think his timing was he was on the road at 7:30, and by the time he got to Squamish, he was in the line for the village at 8:30. Like, the village line went all the way to Squamish, or just outside of Squamish. And he just turned around and came home. He's like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, dude, you can't, what were you thinking? You can't leave Vancouver at 7:30. There's been people in line up there for 2 hours already. You got to leave at 4:30.
you got to get there pre-7, before 7.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. But we had a great day because there's shit to do down here anyways. It's just not the same caliber. I've always enjoyed the stuff that I ride in Vancouver. It's great. And I'll sometimes shit on Whistler saying, well, look, it's only one run. You only get one run anyway. And you've been there since 5 in the fucking morning. Like, it's crazy. But that's not true. Because one run down $1 million trees is worth 1,000 runs here. Yeah. It's insane.
That's probably maybe the first year I haven't done 1 million.
You haven't done 1 million first tracks?
Oh, yeah, I did. I did one.
I knew it.
I did one, but like I didn't want to.
How come?
Well, I wanted to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, we're going to go here. But it was good. But yeah, definitely a minimal peak laps this year for sure.
Minimal peak laps. Peak's not that great compared to like some of the other shit.
That's it.
It's good. It's good at first. It's not great at second. Like once that one fucking wall of people have come down. And that's not even that great either. You know what I mean? To be riding it like it's such a fucking
the front laps are interesting, but it's all fucking good, I guess.
It is. Yeah, I can't shit on it. There's nothing better than a top to bottom on track run at Whistler. Fuck off. Like there's nothing better in the world to do.
Me and Cashy did a West Circ. Cashy, Schnicks. We did a first into West Circ, first into Frogs on the whatever that was, 120 centimeters.
Oh, wow.
Backed up, like,
oh, wow.
And we were first. We were 100% first, minus Patrol, who told us, like, you guys are going to love this.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I was kind of shit-talking Pal for a couple weeks. Just like, I don't need it, man. This is fucking, the hit run is so good. But Pal is good. It's nice.
It's something more than nice, isn't it? It's something like, it's otherworldly shit. Yeah. The first tracks, those absolute firsties.
Once it gets beat out and you're hunting, I'm like, fuck, dude, I'd rather go high speed on a hit run than hunt.
Yeah. Cow. Yeah, Dave Hatchett was talking about his favorite stuff in California is bunnying and like kind of broken up POW that's already had some tracks through it that you still, where it's like challenging. I'm like, I want no challenge. I want the challenge to be like, riding the terrain smoothly. That's what I'm into. I don't want the bunnying. I don't want moguls. I don't want other people even. I just want the good shit. Yeah, tell me about shit that you want to talk about.
I have no idea.
You got nothing that you were coming in here thinking, oh, I hope I get to talk about that shit.
Honestly, I drove down listening I was like, what's up with Jody's podcast? Let's listen to that again and see what we got into. Fuck, man, we touched a lot of shit in there.
You did.
And like the biggest one, the response from Jody's, like that I got from people, like people were freaking out for a second there. And I think it was mainly because when I listen to it again, you kind of put out there I guess I touched on more of the points in my life where I felt like shit, which maybe a lot of people are feeling like they could talk about sort of shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like I definitely heard it. I don't remember most of it talking, but I definitely went through a dark place moment in time and it was cool to be able to let it out on there. And I met Etienne, Gilbert.
Of course.
He called me not long after it came out and he's like, wasn't it? Because I think he's doing a lot of counseling. That's someone you should get on the podcast.
I've had him.
You had Gilbert?
But only over the phone because he's in Australia, right? Yeah. But he came back for something. When he was over here, I was like, I got to get him on the show while he's here. Yeah, now that I'm doing in-person shit. Yeah. He's a motivational guy, psychedelics guy, and all that shit.
He was like, how good did it feel to like tell your story? And I was like, I didn't really look at that way going into it, but I definitely got to tell my story somewhat at a point in my life where you're like, when you're down and out, you want to tell your story. You want someone to just like hear your shit for some reason. Like, I feel like shit for this, like, for this reason or whatever, when you don't normally get that opportunity to just like tell your story.
What
like,
you're saying.
Oh, I fucked up and I want to tell you how I fucked up or whatever it is, a breakup. Like, this is why I did it. Oh God.
Yeah.
And like, you get to tell this story and like, coming out of that, even though I was like in a great place by the time I went in that podcast, but But like it was nice to talk about the darkness and shit, and people responded like it was nice to it was good to hear someone fucking let go or let it rip or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
It's like really coming in and like over the last couple of, fuck man, what a year it's been. But like, man, it feels good to feel good, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Like, and really see progress or just like how it happened and like how, yeah, really like how fucking you did a complete 180 and like how could I help someone else do a 180, you know?
Yeah, dude.
A good friend of mine, Biff, who lives in my house or where I used to live in Whistler, he's in my house and we met. He was going through a time and I was listening to the way he was speaking, which makes me think of Sean Kearns and your podcast. And I was like, holy fuck, dude, you need to read this book because I can just hear whatever you're saying it's not lining up. Like the words you're using and stuff. Like I didn't really say that, but I'm like, check this out. Now he's fucking completely obsessed with it. He did a podcast and just told his story.
What
like,
book is it?
The Four Agreements.
Oh, so
I talked
good.
about it in Jody's, right?
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
So Biff's there. They invite Biff on to a podcast to tell his story. And Biff's just a regular dude coming to Whistler, working, living the dream, blah, 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 right? And he gets to tell his story. And it's such a beautiful story. And he talks about his darkness and everything in the book. It just like makes me feel amazing. Like everybody needs to be able to tell their story and touch on like the darkness that you've had or whatever. So like, you know, a lot of when I was coming to this, I was like, what are we going to talk about? Like fucking snowboarding or like we're going to get into it? Like what's getting into it now? Like, what do you want to talk about the book again? Like,
right.
But like,
well, that whole chunk that you did talking about your dad passing away, because we don't know how to do that. Like I remember a few years ago, I got this shortcut where I could say, I don't even know what to say. Like I haven't lost my dad, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's better than saying, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, in my own opinion. Like I just feel like the response that gets from someone who's lost their parent, like, hey, fuck, I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to say shit. Yeah. Like that. It's at least one step more real. Yeah. But it's like, you know, the Kearns way, the Kearns thing is like, fuck, he dives into it. Thank you for sharing. How does it make you feel? Like that kind of.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking good. Like that was a good. Those two, I can't remember them fully, but yeah, there was two parts, right, or whatever.
I've had him on the show a million times. I've had him probably 5 times, but his latest one, and one thing that I want to mention here is that I've had a really good response from setting the intention to have the season actually benefit other people. Like, yeah, tune in. Let's talk about real shit. The trick, because like, so the one before with Kearns was rooted in psychedelic therapy, which is really a very, very powerful way to access this shit that's locked up inside of you that you don't ever talk about, that really drives your motivation, drives like how you live your fucking life. It's in there. And then when you're high as fuck, sometimes you just are able, you're so high that you can talk to yourself and see yourself and then be like, what in the fucking hell are you doing, dude? Like, give yourself a break. Like, you're so hard on your fucking self all the time. Yeah. How about a little recognition over here for the cool shit that you've also done? Like, you're doing good shit, but you never stop to be like, hey, that was good. You're always like, oh, fuck, could have been better. This is fucking good. You know, oh, you're probably going to blow this stupid thing, dummy, or whatever. And so the psychedelic thing took that voice out of my head, with Kearns giving me 10 books to read and really like diving in and saying, I want to do this. But then the non-psychedelic shit that we did over the summer, it's a next level thing. And it's what you were just talking about. It's bringing who you are to a conversation and seeing that the person across the table is like, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's a good story. Your story is beautiful. You've had a long life. That history is fucking sick. And so for me personally, I'm going to share right now. I trust Sean so much that right before we did the last one, I told him the deepest shit for me, deepest shame that I have in my whole life. Never told anyone. I've told a couple of very close people. And he was so fucking accepting and sweet and shared his own thing. And he was like, thank you for telling me that. I was like, I knew you would appreciate that kind of like real honesty. Like there's obviously I wouldn't make this up. Like it's real shit. You know what I mean? And I feel fucking horrible about it. And he goes, I feel horrible that makes you feel bad. And it was so fucking nice. It was like, and every day after that is different now. You know what I mean? So same thing. You talk about the darkness on Jody's thing, and then you get those constant reminders from people like, hey, I got some darkness too. Thank you for sharing. And
yeah, people need to fucking speak the darkness. Like,
yeah.
You really need to find an outlet somewhere, someone to talk to, and someone that's going to listen and not just kind of, solve your this is what you need to do. Or like Sean said, I think you're supposed to say, I think you should do this, not like you should.
Right.
Because I've heard that a bunch of you need to, and you're just fuck off, man. Don't tell me what to do, man.
Yeah.
That was a big one. I follow that one everywhere, like nonstop.
Yeah.
I catch myself all the time. Like, you should. No.
He's a master at it now. Like every step along the way when he shares that stuff, like he told me one time over the phone, Currents told me one time over the phone, when you say we and everybody knows and this is how it is, you kind of sound dumb, dude. And I love it. I was like, oh.
Now I'm going to fucking have to go back and catch myself on that shit. Can I piss again?
Yeah, you can, of course.
Okay. Coming out of whatever, reading this book and knowing and trying to follow all these rules and then actually looking back in time to those moments where you've really blown it and recognizing that you didn't follow you didn't know those rules. You may have known them, but not really. But like if you can go back and find out when you weren't feeling that awesome, like how those rules would have applied at that time, 20, 30 years ago. Like, this shit is fucking gold, man.
It's
like,
gold.
It's pure gold. If you do not live the, like, what am I trying to say here? But like, if you can find a way to follow those rules, like, I don't think you're going to feel like a piece of shit ever again.
That's true. I agree with
everybody, if you can speak nothing but impeccability, like, there's no stopping you, like, really, I can't even, I don't know. I'm sure I blow it from time to time. I love to catch myself blowing it. Sometimes you'll fucking blow a fuse, something will trigger you and you'll go nuts. It's happened to me many times recently when I'm not impeccable with my word, but like, as long as you know it and you catch it and just like turn around and just keep living that way, man, like, yeah, you're unstoppable.
The assumption one for me is 100% of the triggers starting. Like, I'll just make an assumption about something, not be brave enough to ask. And then most of the time I'm taking something personally as well. But I'd like to go off the economic system that we're using. That would be fun for me. I would like to stop with the money and the worrying about all the stuff, trades, and just... That's
what I want to do. Like, when I thought I was going to retire for a second, like last year or whatever, I thought I was like cruising pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm only working for trades. That's it.
Cool.
I just want to trade. Yeah. I'll do that and I'll trade, but everybody else seems to be like too busy to work this.
Well, it's
system.
a scary thing to be on trade because what are you going to get? Oh, then maybe you won't get
like whatever you
want.
can. Like I can offer you painting. What can you offer me? Like I'm about to swap out for framing of a shed in my yard, and I'm going to paint Homeboy's house.
Dope.
Let's do it.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. No money changes hands. There's no taxes
I'll
being
take a
paid.
massage. It's fine.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, I'll trade you some Belize property, and you come paint everything.
Perfect.
It'd be great. That'd be fucking sick. Everything down there is painted these cool colors. Like houses are all different, like bright colors and shit. It's a beautiful spot. Yeah. You gotta come check it out. All right, buddy. Let's fucking wrap it. This is insane. This was a great conversation, by the way. People are gonna love this shit. There's so much fucking depth in there and real shit. Thank you for bringing
moments.
Real things.
Fuck it, time flew, eh? Wow.
Yeah, we're at 3 hours now. Like
wow,
that.
Nice one
again. Yeah, that was fucking epic, dude.
Nice one, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming down and doing it, dude. FNRad shoutouts this week to Rube Goldberg and Rube's mom. Thanks for being on the show, you guys. Special thanks to all our sponsors and all our Patreon listeners. Tag NewGreens in any FNRad post for a free sample of an amazing organic green drink. My daily go-to. Had one before shredding Seymour today with 57. And tag 1910 for a chance to win a monthly hoodie giveaway. Be sure to come back next week for another episode of FNRad Snowboarding presented by Skyview Campers and brought to you by FNRad Productions.
I got a bear fucking break in to my car and just completely destroy it.
That really happened?
Oh, yeah. Fuck, man. A bear it's complete write-off. My car, my Audi wagon, totally done. Just destroyed.
What did the bear want in the car?
Nothing. There was nothing in it. Went in my truck first.
What?
Went in my truck first.
Okay, I don't understand this.
So my mom wakes up. Well, there's somebody in your truck.
Yeah.
Wake up, look at the window. There's my truck door's open.
So a bear can open a truck door?
Oh, yeah. So I go downstairs. I'm opening the door. I come out. I go to the truck. There's nothing in it. But I hear noise. What the fuck? I look in the back of my truck. Nothing. I look at my Audi. The windows are all steamed up. No way. I go to the front. There's a bear sitting in my front seat just staring at me. And just starts, like, imagine a bear going completely fucking insane trying to get out of a car that's locked shut. The doors are all closed.
Why did he close the door?
I don't know, man. I think his foot, like, dragged when he walked in. It just dragged the door shut. And we're staring at each other, and he just went fucking berserk. And all I could think about was how fucked I am. So I went upstairs, got the keys, unlocked the door. It still wouldn't open. I had to pry the passenger rear door open, pull the door open. Bear jumps out, fucking runs off. Just shit in all the seats. And everything was destroyed. Every seat was ripped to shreds.
Sorry.
Every fucking panel was gone. And I had to go to sleep at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
It was the worst. And then, whatever, we made a couple power moves, and then I found a sweet new car.
Of course you did.
It worked out like perfect.
Yeah, it does.
It did.
First
It broke into
time.
13 cars in Pemberton out there.
Oh, are they going to kill it?
I think they just relocation.
Good. Yeah, they just scoop it up and they're like somewhere with no cars. Mm-hmm. I can't believe it shut itself in your car.
Oh, yeah. And why did it go in the Audi? There was nothing in it. My truck was filled with like French fries and like ciggy butts and just like gnarly painter's construction, truck.
I just
the Audi
love
was clean.
It's like, I like what this guy eats, man. Some fucking French fries, some chicken nuggets on the floor. This is
anything.
epic. And then it gets into the Audi and it's stuck there for how long? Like an hour or something before you go out?
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it just goes berserk when it sees you.
My time was 10 minutes.
It's like,
just imagine a bear thrashing so hard, like so fucking hard.
It's like Tommy Boy when the deer wakes up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kicking every panel and just destroying everything.
Exactly.
And then it just runs out and is like, fuck you. Yeah. Wow. That's a great story.